everybody, my name is Saragi Dion, and welcome back to Higurashi. It's been a couple weeks, I think, since I've recorded this, but we ended up, this is the very end of Chapter 2, so we're gonna keep going, starting from Chapter 3, and then keep going, and keep going, and keep going, up until the game's over. I think in total, we are on Chapter 1, I believe there's 8 chapters in total, and I have them all, so I'm gonna keep going through all the chapters. Not sure. I am at least going to play this until, Halloween, which is next week, but I'm not sure if I'm going to start playing Amnesia and finishing Amnesia before going back to this, or if I'm just going to, flip-flop them. But I'm at least going to play this up until Halloween. So for the next couple weeks, we got this going on, just because it's creepy and, horror, psychological kind of stuff. So it's pretty cool. It's a very interesting... Although most of the stuff we've seen so far has been all lighthearted, going to school, high school anime antics, like that kind of stuff. But it gets better, I promise. It gets real weird, especially after the first, sequences. So I guess let's get back into it. I'm not quite sure if I have any choices throughout the course of this game, but I guess we're gonna find out. A Colonel Sanders? Ah, of course, that's right up her alley. I understand her wanting to take home Stoko and Rika-chan, but I can't understand the Colonel Sanders. What is so good about that four-eyed geezer? I don't really get it either. Probably better to hear it from Reina, don't you think? She'll probably just say, because it's just so cute, though. Does Reina often go to the construction site to hunt for treasure? Every now and then she says she's going to have a look. But a girl her age roaming around in garbage is, well, Freyna enjoys it, but I think it's fine. What were they doing over there? Dam construction? It had been bugging me since yesterday, like an itch I couldn't scratch. Haha, it was cancelled a long time ago. Everyone gathered together and fought against it. Hearing an ominous word like fought come from Rika-chan's mouth startled me. That's right. It was unbelievable. They said Hinamizawa would be sunk into the reservoir and we had no say in the matter. So, I'm only able to be here because their protest succeeded. I'm sorry. I didn't keep you, did I? My deepest apologies, Keiichi-san. It took me a while to powder my nose. Stoko. Wait to use the can until you really have to go. It's a lot easier since it shoots right out. How dare you speak to a maiden of unparalleled beauty such as myself? Who was she calling a maiden? If Satoko was really a maiden, she wouldn't have reacted like that. The usual hijinks ensued. Now then, gentlemen, in accordance with the rules of our society, I bring a point to discussion. He, Keiichi Meibara-kun, wishes to be included as a member in our activities. What say you? Reina has no objection. Oh ho ho, I wonder if the likes of this peasant is up to the task. Me and Satoko both approve. I love how Rika answers for her. The three that Mion had queried voiced their approval. A unanimous decision. Congratulations, Keiichi Meibara-kun. I present you the honor of being allowed to take the entrance exam for our club. A club? Start from the beginning. I didn't say I would join. What club is this? Our club does, you see, is, in order to cope with our complicated society, we perform various activities under different sets of rules. Sometimes they are in your favor, sometimes they work against you. I'm not following. I'm pretty weak, so I prefer if you didn't single me out. Let's try to get along. You're so naive, Reina. The law of the jungle is survival of the fittest. This is starting to sound a bit sketchy, so what kind of club was it? To sum it up, it's a couple where we play games together. Rika-chan was the only one to answer my question with a pertinent response. So basically this club put Mion's hobby of collecting games to use, by playing the various games that Mion had hoarded every day. It seemed that, depending on the day, there were prizes for the winner or a penalty for the person who finished in last place. I'll make this clear right away, we aren't playing house here. We shouldn't treat each other with win or losses if your life depends on it, alright? What's wrong with just having fun? Don't make it sound so crazy. First rule of our... That grim, though! First rule of our society. Aim only for first place. Going at it half-assed just because it's a game is not allowed. Rule number 2 of our society. For that reason, you are obligated to make all possible efforts. The way Satoko said it sounded like she was saying use any means necessary. Of course, I will do my best too. I'm pretty weak, but I'm trying my best. I knew what they were trying to say. In a game where everyone is aiming for the top, it's rather unsportsmanlike to just play for fun. Alright then, I too will go all out. With that, I was finally ready for the rite of initiation, my baptism into the club. Ooh, what a great club. A word of warning, Kei-chan. Reina can get pretty nasty. The initiation looks like it's gonna be rough. Mion began fishing around in the student lockers in the back of the room. They have the games here at the school? It's club equipment, so I guess that's fine. Technically. Complicated games will put Kei-chan at a disadvantage, so today we'll play a game that you should be familiar with. How about a standard card game, like Old Bachelor? I thought it was Old Babe. Alright, let's do this. Can't really get into it unless there's a penalty. This time the loser will be sentenced to having their face drawn on. What do you think? Whoa, it will be oil-based paint, right? Right? Oil-based face painting with oil-based paint? That is perfect. Stoko cheered the idea on. She didn't even flinch at the thought of such a severe penalty. Seemed like she was raring to go. If it's going to be like this, then I can't lose either. Then I'll just cut the deck and start dealing. Old Bachelor's pretty much the same as Old Maid. There's only one difference. There's no Joker. Huh. In its place, one card is pulled out at the start. Meaning there will be one card without a match left over at the end. You don't know which card will end up being the Joker. Wait, what? Oh, so there is a Joker, but they take one card out so it doesn't have a match. Okay, so there is a Joker, so why did they say there's no Joker? That's weird. Whatever. I'll take out the card now. Reina took out one card and left it face down on the table. Everybody stared at the card intently. Well, it's been pretty obvious in the end game. No way to tell at the start. But the rest of them were very serious. They didn't seem as relaxed as I was. They compared their cards to the one face down, all the while gauging each other's reactions. It was as if they could see what the face down card was. No, it couldn't be. This deck is pretty worn out. No way. Can everyone tell by the scratches what the card on the table is? Remember the second rule of our society. Kei-chan must try his hardest to win as well. The number of cards are quite unique, Keiichi-kun. Should be able to remember them pretty quickly. She said that so matter-of-factly. Suits me fine. Don't think a little thing like that can be your crutch. I lashed out angrily, but it was rather obvious I was at a disadvantage. After all, they had gone so far as to memorize the wear and tear for each individual card. It wasn't a simple game of Old Bachelor. This was a test. They were playing with the answer sheet in front of them. Bring it! I'll take advantage of your carelessness and beat you at your own game. My baseless confidence would soon be crushed. I'm terrible at games. Kiki, how about I tell you your hand starting from the right. 3, 4, 9, Jack, Queen. Wah! By the way, the Bachelor is the Jack of Diamonds. Gah! I can tell what they are even if you switch them around. I am out. Urgh. I thought I was prepared, but for it to be this brutal, just overwhelming. Demons. You're all demons. Reina isn't a demon, are you? Sorry, Keiichi-kun. This is the 3 of Hearts, isn't it? I'm out. Ah! Not even a hint of mercy. Reina, even Riga-chan. These club activities weren't to be trifled with. Hinamizawa is not to be trifled with. An alumnus of this club would definitely survive in the cruelest of situations. If our entire class had self-detonating collars strapped to their necks and were dropped into a death match on a deserted island, these guys would probably take to it like fish to water. That's a, I forget what that's called. It's kind of like the Japanese version of the Hunger Games, but I believe it came out much, much sooner than that. It's an old story, but that's what the Hunger Games is semi-based on, is that story that he's talking about. I'll have to figure out what that's called, actually. I can already picture their joy as they hunt down each of their classmates. It's a lowest point system. The order itself dictates the points. Whoever has the lowest point total wins. Since Keiichi finished last, he has 5 points. There's already a 5 marked down on my scoreboard. I think it's unfair to Keiichi-kun if we don't use a new deck. It's fine, it's fine. Keiichi-chan is a man after all. turn the tables even if the odds are stacked against him, right? I don't know if that's fair. It's fitting for a lowly peasant to scamper home and soak their pillows in tears, don't you think? A petite hand laid itself on top of my head, which was trembling from uncontainable frustration. It was Rika-chan's. Keep on fighting, yeah. She's so cute, oh my god. Thanks to Rika-chan's words of encouragement, I was able to calm down. You need to be calm, especially when you're cornered. That's the power I can muster during this crisis. Think clearly, Keiichi Maebara. Take your time and look at the cards carefully. It's just as Reina said, each card has its own distinct markings that made them stand out. Memorizing them should be pretty simple. Think about what you can do in this situation. Try everything in your power to improve your chances of victory. Wow, great Keiichi-kun, just like that. I covered the uniquely marked cards with my hands or other cards, arranging them in such a way that they couldn't be seen. The one with the ripped corners should be the 5, and I'm out. I couldn't let any of those precious hints slip by me. All information is a weapon. Then it was my turn. Stoka fanned out her cards for me. You see, I want the 7. Is it this one? I wonder about that. You won't know unless you take it. There was a bit of dismay in her expression. Like, she doesn't want it taken. That kind of expression. I won't let that momentary laugh slip by me. I know. It's this one. Got it. 7 of spades! A cheer of ooh rang out. What is this? The 7 should be the hardest one of all to tell apart. It wasn't from memorizing the markings. Those slight changes in their expressions as I was selecting a card were enough. Can't hide it from me, Keiichi-chan. This mark means it's the tune of diamonds. What? She was startled by her own misread. Of course everyone else was too. Whoa, it's rare that Mi-chan gets a card wrong. No! Kei-chan, could it be you? They told them apart by different marks. That mark was a nail scratch, so I put a new one on it. Are you saying he disguised it as the 2 of diamonds? What an impressive show of wit! Kei-chan landed a clean hit. Clap, clap, clap. That's great, Keiichi-kun. That was an incredible match, you know? Having defeated the Forerunner Mion, my brilliant battle left me ecstatic. But by 2 total points, it was already set in stone that Mion would win and I would finish last. I laughed heartily, selecting the tone of my voice carefully to get on Mion's nerves. Well, I'm gonna end up the loser, but I'm satisfied that with one-upping Mion at the end. Bwahahahaha. That should be the proverbial slap in the face to Mion, who was at the top already and ensured victory. Even if Kei-chan gets first place in this round, he'll still end up in last place overall. Don't you hate that? Of course I do. Let's have a duel. One chance. If you win, then we'll swap first and last place. How about it? You up for it? She fell for it. A chance for an upset that wouldn't be possible without goading her into it. One chance, you say? Let me hear the rules. Mion discarded 2 cards from her hands and replaced one with the Joker card that was on the table, then shuffled the resulting hand behind her back. The card on my right or the card on my left? Kei-chan can guess which hand the Joker's in, then he wins. When you turned around just now, you didn't pull out the Joker, did you? If you lose, I'll show the card in the other hand. That okay? The other 3 gulped nervously at this unexpected turn of events. Alright, you've got it. Mion grasped 1 card in each hand and thrust them out to me. First, I needed to inspect them closely. The card on the right hand had no distinguished marks. I couldn't tell which one it was. Which one, I wonder? Keiichi-kun, be careful. Yeah, of course, this is my chance for a big comeback. Looking closely at the card on the left, I saw a little wear. It wasn't the one I had seen before. It wasn't one I hadn't seen before. Ah, that card is... I didn't let that bit from Toko slip by me. Mion clicked her tongue. I don't remember the mark on the left card from the small number that I had memorized. I didn't know what the left card was, but I could tell from Toko's reaction that the card had already appeared during the game. Since it had already appeared before, it meant that it definitely wasn't the Joker. Oh, Keiichi-kun thinks it's the one on the right. Will you choose that one then? Will you? The left card definitely wasn't the Joker. If I could trust that theory, then I shouldn't be able to declare that the card to the right was the Joker. Even without Mion's taunting, the one on the right was the most suspicious. But wasn't it a bit too rash to decide based solely on Toko's reaction? More carefully. Ah, I remember now. That mark, left card, no doubt about it. 7 of clubs. It's the 7 of clubs, I see. I've won. The card on the left was the 7 of clubs. That meant the card on the right was the Joker. And then, just before my hand touched the right card, I froze. Ho ho ho, I expect no less from you. There's a wave of murmurs amongst the onlookers in my sudden halt right before I confirmed the right card was the Joker. Huh? What could Keishikun possibly be saying? I mean, the left one is... Shh. Oh, what makes you so certain about the right one isn't the Joker, Kei-chan? Mion let loose an unexpected question. Everyone was baffled. I don't know what the card on the right could be, but I know that the one on the left is the Seven of Clubs. Then, doesn't that leave the right one as the Joker? One of them has to be the Joker, right? Yeah, one of those is the Joker, right? Keiichi has good intuition. Huh? Ray-chan, what do you mean by... So basically, the Seven of Clubs, I discarded that by matching it with Satoko's Seven of Spades earlier. Everyone's attention snapped to the discard pile at the same time. The truth of the matter couldn't be discerned from that sloppy pile, so that means Neon pocketed one of the discarded cards and aligned it over the left card. And that means... I see, I get it. This left card is being disguised as the Seven of Clubs, right? It was the first time since the start of the match that a shadow ran across Mion's expression, and I didn't let that slip by. Then, with a grand flourish, I declared it loudly. Joker is the left. One. It was an intense moment. The 1 second felt like an eternity for everyone there. Breaking that silence, the first one to speak was Mion. Being the first president of the club, I've been witness to a variety of performances. Kei-chan, yours is the best. The best of the best of the best. That was probably the greatest compliment Mion could give. Mion accepted her defeat, dropping the card from both hands. My comeback victory! Rika-chan placed her hand on my head and began petting it, congratulating me on my victory. Huh? Rika-chan is... Reina and Satoko gaped at us as if they had seen a ghost. What is it, Reina? It's not if I cheated or anything, right? That was fair and square. Rika only pets someone on the head to console them. Huh? What's the meaning of... At that moment, Reina let out a small shriek. Keiichi-kun, this is how it was? You know, Kei-chan, I thought you'd read into it that far. Everyone froze. No, it was just me. It was a gamble. He had just jumped to conclusion like a little brat that I would have lost. It's the answer everyone was certain about. Neon picked up the card from the losing hand. Kei-chan, you know, you should take pride in this loss. She turned it around. That was the card that proclaimed the victor of this duel. The card under the Seven of Clubs. Unbelievable. It was the Two of Diamonds. It was a setup behind the setup. If I just picked the right one without reading so deeply into it. I, Mion Sonozaki, as the club president, do accept Keiichi Maebaro's membership into our club. As I slept in my knees, dazed, everybody let out a round of applause for the excellent effort I gave despite my defeat. The match is now over. Today's victor is me, Mion Sonozaki, and our exalted loser is Keiichi Maebaro. Everyone made a commotion, applauding cheerfully. I felt I was bested, but I was so soundly beaten that it unexpectedly felt rather refreshing. When Mii-chan pulled that little trick behind her back, I got excited, thinking she's going to do it again. When Keiichi-kun stopped a moment before touching the correct card, I thought, he fell for it. He fell for it quite handedly. Huh? Hey, wait! All of them knew from the start, still got so excited so earnestly? Everyone got excited to make it more fun. You're all demons, you monsters! Now then, Kei-chan, it's time for your penalty. Since it's your first day participating, I'll go easy, okay? It won't be a problem if you refuse to come to school. The other three members held down my arms and shoulders firmly. Mion approached, licking her lips. Her right hand went to pull something out of her pocket. That's a felt-tip marker. And it's large, and oil-based. Okay, here we go. She took the cap off the marker and brought it slowly upon my face while I was immobilized. No, no! I fell out my deep throes. I let out my deep throes. I'm just waiting for someone to die, because I know what's gonna happen. But not quite yet. It's a slow burn, for sure. It takes quite a while. As soon as the club activities were finished, Reina flew off. Probably so she could dig out that cute Colonel Sanders that she wasn't able to take home yesterday. So today it was just Mion and me walking home together, a rather rare occurrence. Mountain of treasure, huh? The guys throwing it away probably never thought of their wildest dreams that Reina would be grateful to them. Mountain of treasure, meaning that damn construction site from before. Oh right, Mion would probably tell me. That murder by dismemberment that seemed to have happened there. Over there, you know, at that damn construction site. Did something happen there? Long ago? Sure something did. A grand battle. There were sit-ins and demonstrations. It's a bit different from what I wanted to hear, but I decided I'd just listen all the same. It was our land that was going to be sunk into the dam reservoir. I would have fought as well, probably. The government guys were really adamant about it, acting all big and full of themselves. Since they figured out what they couldn't settle, but they couldn't settle it with money, they did a bunch of nasty stuff. They were nasty guys. Mion spoke to Sally as if the whole thing was happening right in front of her. What makes you guys won? You were facing the federal government, right? The mayor and prominent figures in the village all signed petitions. They went to Tokyo and struck deals with the legislators. And as a result, the development plan was retracted. It was our complete victory. Ah ha 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 ha. There wasn't any violence, was there? Like assaults or murders? None. She promptly cut me off. The same as Reina had. Her words signaled the end of the discussion. Tomitake said one arm wasn't found in the incident. I thought that a murder by dismemberment had occurred, but I guess I was wrong. My curiosity unsated, I sighed dejectedly inside. Later, see you tomorrow. Kei-chan, you can't wash that off until you get home, got it? I got it, I won't. Mia held back her laughter while stealing glances at my face. Wonder what kind of nasty doodles they drew. Damn you, Mion, you shall rue this day. If our roles are ever reversed, I'm going to slop it on. All over your face, you won't be able to take it off, even with a scoring pad. Upon arriving home, I ran straight into my mom, embarrassing myself yet again. The mood I come home to was already on edge. It's not an uncommon thing in our family. Whenever Dad can't come up with a good idea, it always ends up like this. He stomps around the house with his arms crossed. Mom whispered into my ear, "Welcome home, Keiichi. Dad, he's in a bit of a rut right now, so don't bother him, okay?" He can't come up with a new idea? It's because the deadlines are so close together this time. Your dad needs time to recharge, or he doesn't work as well. Dad's paintings feed our entire family. If he runs out of ideas, then it's the end of the Maybaras. We've never gone hungry before. Could it be that my dad is a master painter? Wouldn't it be easier to get an idea taking a walk outside rather than wandering around the house? The theme of this piece this time is in the household, so it seems your dad wants to use this house as a motif. It's quite a bothersome motif. Keiichi, pick up your room. It looks terrible. Sorry, I'll clean it up later. Ah, come on. Please don't use my room as the motif. Keiichi, there's still some time before dinner, so please take a walk out back or something. His bad mood is only temporary. As soon as he gets an idea, his mood improves and he starts humming. Until then, it wouldn't be a bad idea to just go take a walk so I don't aggravate him further. Well, I guess I will then. That was quick. I just got home and you want me to go back out? What the hell? What's wrong with you guys? I said I was going to take a walk, but I didn't have any particular destination in mind. I just needed to kill some time. I got on my bike and pondered where to go. I could just go read at the bookstore, but it would take about a half an hour by bike to get to town. It would be dark by the time I got back, so I didn't want to go unless I had to. The roads at night here in Hinamizawa creeped me out. If Mion or Satoko were ever find out about that, I smiled wryly. Oh yeah, Reina was probably still at the construction site. At the Mountain of Treasure. I read those backwards, but it's fine. The excavation of Colonel Sanders was probably taking her a while. It wouldn't be so bad to have her owe me one. She might return the favor next time we have club activities. With a little bit of self-interest in mind, I set off towards the damn construction site. That damn construction site. Tomitake-san might be there as well, the only person with information about the incident that both Reina and Mion denied knowing anything about. If I met him again, I'd like to ask for more details. To ask, was there really a dismemberment here in Hinamizawa? That was my real intention. Yeah, that was really weird. Tomitake just, like, comes up to him and is like, oh yeah, there was a murder and a dismemberment here. And it's like, what? What? Where did that come from? Like, seriously. Where did that come from? I spotted Reina struggling on the slope of the garbage pile. It looked like Colonel Sanders was lodged in there pretty firmly. Didn't look like Reina could be able to excavate him by herself. Realizing that Tomitake-san wasn't around, I began climbing up the slope unsteadily. Hey Reina, looks like you're working up a sweat. There she is. Whoa, Keiichi-kun. What brings you to a place like this? Place like this, huh? See, she was aware of it at least. I received a signal for emergency assistance at the accident site. Where is the injured party? Huh? Accident? Huh? But there was a report Colonel Sanders was buried alive in the trash pile. Oh, bad. You scared me. Don't frighten me like that, Keiichi-kun. I was just kidding. Thought you might be struggling by yourself, so I came to help you out. You came? For me? Oh. I love her. Well, I filled my quota for today. If I don't see Reina blush at least once a day, then I'm not going to my daily required nutritional intake. Just kidding, you're embarrassing me now. So, what part was the joke? What part was it? I just ignored her bewilderment. Okay, now move out of the way. So where is Colonel Sanders? Ah, sorry. Can't you see him in that gap? He's really buried in there. Colonel Sanders was sideways, surrounded by boards and other construction materials, like they were caging him inside. According to Reina, it wasn't like this yesterday. Seems as though another illegal dumper came yesterday, dumped again, and now he's buried like this. Should've got him yesterday. You're trying to move this pile all by yourself? With those scrawny arms? There's no way she'd be able to do that with her slender arms. But Colonel Sanders, so cute! There's a chain on the Colonel Sanders at the store. This one, though, I should be able to take this one home. Ho! Reina gave up on the Colonel Sanders. She'll probably start devising a plan to steal the one in front of the store. As Reina's guardian, I won't allow her to sully her hands with crime. Good luck with that. Out of the way, I'll do it. Reina blushed again, but this time I left it alone. This pile was enormous. Also, the more days we wasted, the more likely another illegal dumping would occur. If it got buried any deeper, there would be nothing that could be done. Keiichi-kun, I'll help too. Let me help. You just get in the way, so stay back. Pulling out scraps, bending them, tossing them aside, I quickly became covered in sweat and dust. Flying objects drew beautiful arcs across the twilight sky, one after another. Lumber, timber, plywood. Damn it! No matter how much I threw out, there was still more, even though I could see Colonel Sanders right there. After grandstanding like that in front of Reina, I felt frantic because of how little I had progressed. If I was going to do this so seriously, I needed an axe or a saw or something. That's enough, Keiichi-kun. You're so sweaty. You don't have to try so hard. I'm just doing it for you, Reina. Don't worry about it. Reina began sputtering and turned beet red. Ah, whoops. I meant to say I was trying my best, so as to keep her from becoming a criminal. Oh well. Oh well, I was just doing it for you. Yeah, man. I guess I just need a break. This is pretty tough. I sprawled on my back over the grassy slope. I'm so sorry. You're covered in sweat. Reina patted her handkerchief against my forehead. It felt pretty nice. Well, wait here a minute, okay? My house is pretty close. I'll bring you some barley tea, okay? Leaving the handkerchief on my forehead, Reina took off running. Cries of the Higurashi gently cooled the air. After I was certain that Reina was gone, I picked myself up and headed towards what I discovered earlier. There was a garbage pile of magazines and newspapers bound up in twine. Unless I'm mistaken, I believe it was around here. There it was. They were bound stacks of not-so-reputable tabloids. They were stacked chronologically, going back quite a few years. It's quite a disturbing incident. Seems they haven't been able to find one of the arms, you see. If it was just as Tomitaki-san said, then undoubtedly there would be a mention of the murder. These are troubled times. There's no end to these sickening incidents. There's a large part of society drawn in by these incidents as well, so it had to be recorded. Somewhere. I unfastened the packages and opened the rain-soaked pages carefully, looking over the table of contents. Not here. Next one. Not here. Next one. It was hard to search since I didn't know when it happened. I didn't know who the perpetrator or the victim was either. I only knew it had happened here. I looked up every so often, checking to see if Reina had come back or not. I wouldn't want her to see me gawking at a dirty magazine, but it wasn't just that. Both Reina and Mion said they didn't know, but it had happened, without a doubt. As long as Tomitaki-san wasn't lying. And if both Reina and Mion, yeah, there was. If they had just said that, then I wouldn't have gotten so hung up on it. An incident that neither Reina nor Mion wished to talk about, trying to uncover it after they tried to conceal it out of good intentions. This made me feel like I was acting against my friends. Hinamizawa dam worker lynching, murder by dismemberment. Oh. Here it is. Damn, that's quite a title. Whew. The feature article was in the back, and it seemed that there was a photograph in the colored pages at the front. The pages of the featured article were stuck together and weren't easy to open. Raina could return at any moment. Feeling rushed, I gave up and opened the photograph page. Police investigators were carrying a body bag, and newspaper reporters were all bathing it in camera flashes. The image was blurry and hard to understand, but I could definitely make out the headlines. A tragic nightmare at the Hinamizawa construction site. Lynching and murder / dismemberment. The victim was the site foreman. He had assaulted his assailants daily with an explosive backlash from his daily actions. It's a horrible image to see the site foreman as it happened. It really did happen. The site foreman. Seeing the details were on the next page. Turned out the document. I turned the page without pausing. On it was... Oh! The assailant butchered the victim's body with hatchets and pickaxes, then used an axe to split the cadaver into 6 pieces, the head, arms, legs, and torso. I could understand just from the headline that it was just too terrible, an incident. Normally a lynching is just assault and murder, right? Dismemberment with hatchets and pickaxes? That wasn't a lynching. It was a merciless killing to the letter, a brutal murder, done by a group of people, with hatchets, pickaxes, with an axe. Eek. So sorry. Did I startle you? Marina dropped the axe she was holding onto the grass after being startled by my voice. Keiichi-kun, you see, earlier, you said it would help if you had an axe, didn't you? So then I brought an axe for you, from the shed. Marina fluttered her arms in a panic, continuing to explain and apologize. Seemed I'd been glaring at her pretty intensely. I'm sorry, I guess my reaction was a bit overboard. No, I'm sorry as well, I'm sorry. Night was drawing close. I was pretty worn out and it wouldn't hurt to do the rest tomorrow. Doesn't look like we can break the last beam without an axe. You brought it after all. I'll have to borrow it tomorrow, alright? Okay. Why do you look so glum? Tomorrow we'll be digging out Colonel Sanders, right? You're right. I really want to take Colonel Sanders home soon. I don't know why she's so obsessed with this. We both knew that it was useless to apologize any more than that. I quenched my thirst with the barley tea Raina brought and wiped out the sweat that had now gone cold. We took the path to head home. Felt quite guilty about the tabloid wrapped up in my jacket. That's a lot of body parts, man. Yeah, everything just seems so normal. And then, like, there's that one incident that happens. And it's just like, what does this mean? You know? Hinamizawa Dam Project. So that's the end of Chapter 3. October 1975. In accordance with the Prime Minister's Bulletin Number XXX, Hinamizawa Electrical Development Master Plan was announced. The vast scope of the projected Hinamizawa Dam will have an incredible heavily impact on the village of Hinamizawa. The flooded area caused by the Hinamizawa Dam would include the 5 areas of Hinamizawa, Takatsudo, Kiyotsu, Matsumoto, and Yagochi. The submerged area includes 291 houses, population 1251, 1 elementary school, 1 middle school, 1 post office, 1 agricultural cooperative, 1 forestry department, lumber yard, 5 shrines, 2 temples, and a fishery. All of these communal, cultural, agricultural areas and places of worship will be indefinitely submerged at the bottom of the artificial lake basin. Forsaking the hundreds of years our ancestors poured their blood and sweat into this fertile, resource-rich land is just too painful to bear. All the residents having homes that were to be submerged banded together and created the Onigafuchi Defensive Alliance. The dam project was halted and petitions to alter the plan were circulated. Citizens sought peaceful negotiations, but the government and its puppet company, XXXXX, openly refused. Performing unspeakable, heinous acts, they quashed the democratic actions of the villagers. The villagers did not falter. Instead, they banded together even more closely and instilled their resolve to reject their homes to the death. The continuation of the frightening Hinamizawa Dam construction project is still stalled as of today. Villagers understand that the stalling was caused by sublime power through unity. They understand that this fearsome plan has not yet been fully withdrawn. The Onigafuchi Defensive Alliance has been dissolved after it did its part, but the feelings of unity it gathered have not yet been extinguished. As long as the passion resides in the hearts of the residents, they'll be able to confront whomever next decides to sink their homes into a lake basin. Onigafuchi Defensive Alliance Committee Chairman Kiichiro Kimiyoshi. Interesting. So the one that was murdered was the dam projection leader. Official tabloid report. Nightmare befalls the Hinamizawa Dam. Lynching and murder/dismemberment. In X month of X day in XX prefecture, the Hinamizawa Dam construction worksite in Shishibon City, a bone-chilling gruesome murder/dismemberment. Even though the case has shocked the archipelago, the police will give no details on the case. Exactly what happened at the Hinamizawa Dam. They probably didn't mean to kill him at first, but as the victim resisted by swinging around a shovel, the rest of the perpetrators armed themselves in return, and it quickly escalated to homicide. So said the aforementioned investigator A. After this bloody tragedy was over, they were left with a body which nobody thought was alive. XX-san had tormented the suspects daily with his rough behavior. First it was meant to be payback. All the perpetrators were horrified by their deed, and even turned himself into the police. And one even turned himself into the police. It was the de facto leader of this group, XX, who suggested hiding the body. Reluctantly at first, they soon began to think they did not wish to be caught. The construction site had numerous places to hide the body with 6 people. They were originally supposed to hide the body and leave the area, but the de facto leader feared that the consciousness of the other 5 wouldn't be able to bear the burden. He came up with a horrifying method to keep them from turning him into the police. He devised the heinous method of splitting up the body among them and making each of them responsible for hiding a piece. That is a terrible idea. XX had turned a simple manslaughter into gruesome dismemberment and forcibly involved each perpetrator in order to create a sense of unity between them. Each one participated. But what does this mean? Person A spoke out reluctantly. XX had ordered each and every one of them to dissect a piece for themselves. They were hesitant at first, but nobody refused. In for a penny, in for a pound, was what it meant. Thus, an unimaginable bloody ceremony began. The perpetrators wept and vomited as they performed the gruesome task. There was one person who stubbornly refused, but XX threatened them, saying nobody would change if someone else ended up dead, and he gave in his objections. But XX's plans collapsed in the span of one night. XXX, who had refused to dissect the corpse up until the last moment, had broken down into tears at the hospital where he was being treated for injuries sustained during the scuffle and confessed. Criminals were arrested one after the other, but the de facto leader's XXX whereabouts are still unknown. Also, the right arm hidden by XX has yet to be found. Despite an ongoing search, this horrible individual has so far managed to elude law enforcement. What could the police be doing? It appears that XX has said he was going to throw the body right arm into the marsh. XX's car was discovered abandoned near the marsh, but there were no clue to his whereabouts. XX didn't trust his companions. One cannot deny that the possibility that he had expected his companions to confess to the police and used his car as a decoy. Of course, I doubt that theory. Since he has no car, one would expect him to have a limited area to which he could have escaped to. But within the station, there were rumors going around that he had accidentally slipped and drowned in the marsh when he went to throw away the body. To the locals, that marsh is believed to be bottomless. It's known as Onigafuchi, the ogre's abyss. It's said that the bottom of the marsh is connected to the hellish world of the demons. The atrocious demon from hell that was XX. Could it be that he had returned to hell through the marsh? The Zijin Dragon, bringer of luck and fortune, prosperous future. Ladies leaping into your arms, business success, promotions, ambition, protection from harm. Not just with pachinko and racehorses, but business and even love, guaranteed or your money back. Zijin Dragon Bracelet DX One Piece. 27,800 yen. Jesus. That's funny. That's kind of Higurashi, in general. Like, I'm gonna save for sure, because we just finished a chapter. Higurashi is like, there's a lot of like lighthearted, funny humor to it, but it's so bizarre how it goes right from something so happy and lighthearted to something that's just like gruesome and just like messed up. It like switches in an instant, and it's like, what the hell? Like, it's like they blend together so like seamlessly. And it's one of the few, like, series that does that. Because most of the series that are horror are, like, all horror, like, all the way through. There's, like, not, you know, witty humor. It's just, like, you know, high school kids just, you know, doing their thing. It's just, like, horror, blood, you know, mind games, that kind of stuff. And then this one is, like, a good mix of, like, psychological horror and gore, but also, well, not like super duper gore, but like disturbing, like, you know, incidents and stuff. But also the lighthearted humor of everyday life, because that's not going to go away even when these, you know, disturbing incidences are happening. And that might be why there's actually more. It's because people use humor and sarcasm to, like, make light of the bad things that are going on. They try to make it look like everything's normal, you know, even when everything is wrong. So, it's just interesting. So, I'm going to keep going, and we're going to keep doing the next chapter. I'm not sure how many chapters are in chapter 1. But, we'll see. The function of this school as an educational facility is very questionable. I said a lot about my school, too. Our PE class is exceptionally disorganized. The only things we do together are the warm-ups at the start. The teacher isn't even there after that. All we do is play together. No helping it, everybody's different age or gender. The only rule was that we have to stay on school grounds while exercising. All the little kids were gallivanting about. Well, they certainly are being active. They might be getting plenty of exercise, but the Board of Education probably completely forgot about this school. Sorry to keep you waiting. We're all together now. What should we do today for PE? Alright. We have all of our members gathered now. Now then, class representative, what shall we do for PE today? What shall we do? Mion harumphed and crossed her arms haughtily, surveying the area. Explosive power and endurance. There are no field friends in the world of sports. Everyone is a rival. The only thing you can trust in is your own body. What the heck do you mean by that? You really read too much manga. I quipped without missing a beat. And so, we'll be taking a lesson from history. The tried and true king of all outdoor melee events. Let's play tag. It's quite the adorable choice to make after playing it up so much. Just what I was hoping for. The Dunderhead Keiichi-san will be the first one to do it. To be it. I won't be beaten. I'll try my best too. You can't beat me. Why are you guys all so into it? The third rule of our society. You must partake in the game, enjoying it without question. Then this counts as a club activity. Everyone smirked at each other. They all seem pretty confident. I'm a man. Physically, I should be able to keep up with any girls my own age. Regardless, Mion and Satoga looked like they were aiming for victory, and Reina was looking at me as if I'm pitying my disadvantage. Fine, tag. I'm in. My yellow goes across the school counts. Those were the rules. Anyone who was able to be evade being tagged before the bell was a winner, but we didn't switch who is it. The ones who were tagged by it also became it. So the number of people who were it could increase exponentially. The endgame would become a hellish siege. They call the version we're playing here zombie tag, you see. I see, anyone affected by zombies turns into a zombie. That's interesting. Why do you make it sound so scary, I wonder? As soon as I catch Reina, I'm going to tear out her entrails while she's still alive. Gross, Keiichi-kun, that's gross! Rika-chan placed her hand on Reina's head as she panicked. Don't worry, before Keiichi gobbles you down, I'll eat you up gently. Rika, that isn't comforting at all. Both Mion and I nodded deeply. So the first it, how do you decide who's the zombie? With rock, paper, scissors? Well, it is class time after all. Let's decide by answering questions. I'll ask the questions, and the one who isn't able to answer is the zombie. I have no idea which grade level they're coming from. What does the Japanese word roku mean? Huh? I was bewildered by the sudden question. Mion repeated it. So you need to answer. What's roko in English? It's 6. How about kutsushita? Socks. What's the third last letter in the alphabet? It's X. What does seibetsu mean? Of course I know what that is. Satoko cut herself off before finishing the answer. I see. It's quite a lewd question. You're an adult, aren't you? Of course you know what it is, right? I actually don't know what it means in Japanese. I certainly do. Of course I know. Then go ahead and say it. That, you know, that. What does that mean exactly? Oh, Satoko looks like she's in trouble. How cute. Don't take her home. It's a crime. But nip it in the bud. She might really try to take her home. Mion's pursuit was relentless, making Satoko stammer. Now then, go ahead and say it, nice and loudly. What does that mean? I do know, say. I don't even know what that means. That means a person, thing, idea, action, or event which has been previously indicated in context. Huh? Ah? All of us were surprised by Rika-chan's unexpected answer. I see, well it certainly is what that means. That could have been awkward. I wonder what I would have done in Satoko's position. I'd probably get ticked off and just blurt out you-know-what at the top of my lungs. I wouldn't want you as an enemy, Mion Sonozaki. Thank goodness you were born a girl. If you were a boy, you'd probably be a perverted asshole. It appears I have no choice. Unfortunately, I, as Satoko Hojo, shall assume the role of the zombie. I shall eat everyone! Seems like she's raring to go. All I must do is count to 100, correct? Some jerk skipped numbers while counting to 100. So you could start chasing after you solve this problem. Well, Keiichi-kun gave her a simple one, okay? 1/5 of a cake, 1/6 of a cake, and 1/7 of the cake are all on a plate. Oh no, there are no common denominators? Satoko grabbed a stick in a panic and began drawing a cake and fractions on the ground. Satoko, who can eat one cake in 60 seconds, eats all of them. How many cakes are left on the plate? What? Just as I finished giving the word problem, Mion shouted. Ready, go! On Mion's signal, everyone but Satoko scattered. Hehe, Keiichi-kun, that wasn't a problem at all, was it? Satoko had already lost the moment she started working it out. She's eating it all, of course, so there's nothing left on the plate. Everyone dashed off in a direction they thought was best. Knowing the lay of the land, they probably had a right to the best spots. It was obvious I was at a disadvantage. At a time like this, it would have been more effective to go along with those trained in survival skills. Like Mion, for example. The fact that I didn't realize it at the start of the game probably hurt my chances. Glancing back over at the school ground, I saw Satoko just rising up to start. She was really, really mad. Mwahaha! She got tripped up on such a dumb question. I stood at one of the corners of the school. I cleared sight lines in 2 directions and would probably have a good response time if any zombies started closing in. For the time being, I caught my breath and focused on what I was trained to think during club activities yesterday. Now think calmly, Keiichi Mibara. If I was it, what would I do? Increasing my numbers should be the shortcut to victory. And going after the weakest player first is the obvious plan of attack, meaning me. Now then, where could Keiichi-san possibly be? I shan't let you escape, but of course, what would be the best method to track me down? Footprints or smell, or maybe some type of trail. If I could craftily hide my tracks, then there would be no trail for Satoko to follow, but I was no detective. Would I even be able to do this kind of thing in an amateur game like this? Tomita Okamura, have you seen Keiichi-kun recently? What the heck? Do zombies hunt their prey by asking nicely where they went? Tomita and Okamura pointed to the location where I was hiding. After confirming she was headed in that direction, I abandoned my position. It wasn't easy to hide myself with all those little kids running around as they pleased. It was becoming even more obvious that I was at a disadvantage from not being familiar with the surroundings. If that's how it's going to be, then to confront this intelligence-gathering zombie, I just counter in a similar vein. I approached some girls playing with a ball. I'm sorry, but could you relay this message? Satoko Hojo that her parents are at the gate, please. Message, ah ha ha ha. Okay. I stopped the girls as they turned to run off. Wait, don't go yet! Also, take this one to Mion Suzaki. Tell her the teacher's calling her to the gate. Mwahaha, I am quite the skater, if I do say so myself. If things went well, then Satoko and Mion would run into each other at the gate. It would put me at a disadvantage if more people were it, but this was Mion we were talking about. She'd figure out a way to escape. But that was just fine, as long as it bought me more time. Mwahaha, dance for me, Mion and Satoko, in the palm of my hand. Having my foe playing the con man, I looked for a place to hide. If you think about it logically, I'd only bought myself a scant amount of time, and I might even come back to bite me. Once it became apparent I'd start spreading false information through messengers, I could end up being the recipient of one of those messages. Satoko would probably ask the messengers to help her look for me. That would mean that there would be more zombies and participants in the game. The virus that was brought about by my mischief could cause an epidemic. All my classmates would transform into zombies and would only be searching for me. This tactic might backfire horribly. While trembling at the thought of my impending dawn of the dead, I began searching for a safe house. I found a shed by the incinerator behind the school. After climbing up on the roof, I held my breath. It wasn't a bad place to hold out. Not only did I have a good line of sight, but if necessary, I could jump off in 3 different directions to escape. It was getting rowdy down there. The lower grades were running around behind the shed. Ibara-san isn't around. Is he over there? Nope. Where's Keiichi-san, I wonder? His dad is at the front gate. That was definitely a lie. The word gate, the same one I'd used, gave a hint of revenge. So Mion was behind this. I was still keeping one step ahead of the game. I felt bad for my underclassmen, but they had to search behind the school bell. Do you know where Keiichi-san is at? His mom suddenly got really sick. A message for Maibara-san. They said his house caught fire and he needs to come to the gate. The jumbo jet fell on top of the Maibara residence. The police have come to question him. Anything goes now. They say he enjoys peeping into bathrooms. Huh? Is it true that he's going around every night stealing panties? What were they talking about? I heard her speechless. It just keeps getting worse. No way I would do that. I heard the class representative Mion was a victim too. What? This was your doing, Mion. Calm down, Keiichi. This is Mion's battle tactic to flush me out. Just hold on. My underclassmen thought about it logically. They would know it's all nonsense. Small kids don't think about things logically. To them, all those kinds of things were true, so they all chuckled together while looking for me. Hee hee hee, blah ha ha. I win, Mion. It's my victory. Wiping unrelenting tears away, I felt intoxicated by my own victory. Did you hear? I heard that the newer transfer student, Maibara-san, is a really perverted person. The cost of beating Mion had too high a price. Oh, someone passed below. That's Rina and Reika-chan. Rika-chan, you're still okay? I'm getting by somehow. Seems Mi-chan is it as well. Mion? It couldn't be. She'd become it because of my little strategy? This confirmed that Mion was behind this relentless message war. Then this wasn't good. We finally got away from Mi-chan, but Satoko-chan, Satoko is searching around the pipes, so we should be safe here for a while. Upon hearing that, I breathed a sigh of relief. While Rina was slumped on the ground, breathing heavily, Rika-chan had started creeping up to her. Rika-chan doesn't normally make noise when she walks, but it's strange. It could be. Whoa, Rika-chan? What is it? What is it? Don't worry. I had never seen Rika-chan smile so creepily before. Why are you coming closer? Why? Rika-chan isn't a zombie, is she? Don't be scared. I'll be sure to eat you gently. No way! Rika-chan, no! Rina was pressed against the wall and Rika-chan lurched forward with both arms, just like a zombie. Rina quaked with her back pushed up against the wall. It was quite a surreal scene of horror, like one of those zombie breakout videos you'd see. The moment Rina's eyes met mine. Keiichi-kun, save me! Don't rat me out! Zombie Rika-chan turned 180 degrees, exorcist style, and glared at me. Found him, I see Keiichi-chan! Mion popped out from behind the cinder block wall around the garbage dump, also seeing where I was. My position was only advantages was when there was... Okay, they worded that very weird. My position was only advantages when there was one zombie. Being surrounded was not as good. You said you located Keiichi-san? I could tell Satoko was rushing my way. It seemed that Rika-chan had let Rena escape, and now she was baring her fangs in my direction. Ooh. Come on now, Keiichi-chan. 3 zombies circled in the shed, moaning curses. You guys are scary, too scary. Wonder how Keiichi-san's guts taste. I want you to become one of us. Someone please save me. I saw Rena apologize to me from across the schoolyard. An apology. Sorry. Leaving me for dead? Rena! I left off the rube out of fear, slipping as I landed. Satoko and Rika jumped on top of me, and after straddling me, they tickled me all over my body. Gwa ha ha! Stop! Stop! Gwa! So this means Rena is still left. There isn't much time until the bell. Damn you, Reina, how dare you leave me for dead? The feelings of a zombie. I understand how vengeful ghosts were lingering where frets feel. It's sad, so sad, but Keiichi is one of us now. I felt like I'd been bitten by a vampire and was now one of their thralls. It's a strange feeling being welcomed over to the side that had pursued me. Zombie's tag is quite profound. This is no time to postulate. We must capture Reina. The principal is walking down the hall. The bell will ring soon. To devour Reina, I, who had been turned into a demon of vengeance, needed to use any means necessary. Except I wasn't just a zombie. I was a master of the night, a vampire. Using the same trick that had tightened the noose around my own neck, I used my classmates to further my evil designs. I gathered up the lower grades from around the school grounds. Everyone listen, Reina's in big trouble. All of you, please look for Reina. It's a bigger problem than a jumbo jet crashing into your family's house. Oh yeah, it had turned into that, hadn't it? Yawn whistled nonchalantly, trying to avoid the blame. Yeah, it's not even the same league as jumbo jets. What fell on Reina's house was a space colony. A space colony? It's a really big disaster. Everyone in a 100-kilometer radius was obliterated. That's only the prelude to this tragic tale. This is the only beginning, the start of the war for independence by the propagandapality of Zayon. The lower grades were dumbfounded, their eyes like saucers of the grand turn of events. What will happen? Will the Terran Federation lose? If things go on like this, they will. Only one can defeat the Red Comet. That person is Reina Ryugu. Lower grade students all gulped. Seemed I'd made them fully understand that the fight for Earth was lost without Reina. Now scatter, comrades. We must find Reina. My comrades in the lower grades let out an enthusiastic cheer and dashed off in various directions around the school grounds. There was still one person who hadn't gone, but I thought that even the Terran Federation's impulse wave diffusion cannon didn't work on the Comet Empire. You're close. That's the white variety of those comets. The reason it didn't work was because they didn't know their weak point. Of course, Reina knows their weak point all too well. Ryuga-san is amazing. Satisfied with that, he also rushed off to look for Reina. It does seem like there are some promising up-and-comers amongst the youngsters. Little Kei-chan's abilities. This old man knows them better now. Didn't really feel like she was complimenting me, but whatever. Really though, how exceptional Keiichi-san. This looks quite promising. If we have this many, we can win. With this many, we will win. I was thinking that Keiichi would have been a better nominee for the initial zombie. Ryuga-chan's words stung a bit, but I let it slide for now. Not even Reina will be able to escape this entire class. As a result of everyone's thorough search, Reina was finally quartered in the back of the sports equipment shed. You're all scary! Keiichi-kun too! So scary! Probably was scary being chased around by the entire student body. All the lower grades closed in on Reina, saying she was the only one who could save the world. What are y'all saying? I can't control a mech! Reina, how could you leave me for dead? Are you ready to pay for it? I'm sorry about that, Keiichi-kun, but I didn't have a choice. Do not resist. Let yourself be devoured. Let's all be together. Now, Reina, say your prayers. Mwahaha. Reina had stumbled onto a mat, trembling with tears in her eyes. I closed in. Associating this situation with similar, particularly immoral one made my pulse quicken just a little bit. Tsutoka and Ryuga-chan were both wiggling their fingers. They probably wanted to tickle Reina. Reina, wanting no part of what she was about to happen, went stiff with fear. Keiichi-kun, you wouldn't do mean things like everyone else, would you? Would you? I wonder. Oh. Now then, are you ready? Okay, so long as it's Keiichi-kun. The face she made as she resigned herself to her fate made my heart skip a beat. I believe that Keiichi-kun won't do horrible things to me. Our body won't move. That had to be the same sort of anti-zombie mantra. The second my sense of reason chimed in, the beast inside me died instantly. There was the bell. Game over. Ah! Yay! I did it! I survived! Yay! Reina pranced around merrily as if the curse had been broken. So daylight broke in the nick of time. The evil zombie army disintegrated into dust. So the heroine survived. Well, that's how it goes in the movies anyway. What are you postulating about? Why does she like that word so much? This is all because Keiichi-san was dawdling about. Punishment is required. I was subdued by Tsutoka and Ryuga-chan and once again sentenced to death by 100 tickles. Eek! Forgive me, eek! Then the award for surviving goes to Reina Ryugu and Mion Sonozaki. Yay! Huh? Mishan wasn't a zombie? Only pretended to be one. They say you need to deceive your allies before you can deceive the enemy, you know? Mion, you little... Yeah, hurry up and change, alright? Don't be late for the next class. Let go of me, Satoko, Rika-chan. Go ha! Having had my fill of being terrified during my very quiet about club activities, I solemnly swore I would have Mion crying for mercy next time. I don't think that's gonna work out, buddy. I'm sorry to tell you. It's like the first part of the chapter, like the first chapter is like happy and lighthearted, and then the next chapter is like starts off a little lighthearted, but then goes into the deep darker stuff. That's kind of how it feels like to me, anyways. Interesting. After arriving home, I quickly made preparations to head out once again. I had agreed to meet with Reina to take Colonel Sanders out of the Mountain of Treasure from before. Mom, do we have work gloves? I need towels, too. Aren't they in the shed out back? The towels are by the sink. Alright, now I was all ready. Looking at me, my mom stared quizzically. What's going on, Keiichi? Where are you headed to in that getup? If they come to dump again illegally, he'll be buried completely and it'll be impossible to dig him out. And if that happens, Reina will undoubtedly go after the Colonel Sanders in front of the fried chicken place in town. Bit of excavating, so my classmate doesn't become a criminal. Well, don't be out late. My mom returned to the kitchen with a puzzled expression still on her face. Don't be out late. Hunting through the woods is a shortcut to the dam site. I ran into someone. Oh! It's that guy! It was Tomitake's son. Probably taking pictures of wild birds again with that precious camera of his. It couldn't be that all he took pictures of was handsome young men in the twilight. Hey, long time no see. Keiichi-kun, right? My due regards. I expelled the rude imagery from my head and greeted him without inciting anything. By the way, was that girl an acquaintance of yours? He was probably talking about Reina. Guessing by the way Tomitake's-san was shaken up. What was all that about? She was walking away around with an axe. She was laughing with a huge smile on her face. That was Reina, without a doubt. It was probably because she could take it home today, so she couldn't hide her excitement. I hid myself because I thought it might be dangerous. Should I call the cops to be safe? Well, it certainly would be quite the skeptical for a girl of her age to be roaming around with an axe. Tomitake-san's reaction was the epitome of logical. It's fine, just leave her be. She's just wandering around looking for more victims. Tomitake-san was alarmed by my crass response. Well, it's probably hard for normal people to understand Reina. I'll just toss a bunch of BS out there. If you were to be killed out here, she'd probably be the one to do it. Trying not to snoop too much around here. With a condescending smirk, I started off in the direction of the dam site where Reina was waiting. Before I got too far, Tomisaka abruptly called out to me. Keiichi-kun, is that meant to be a warning for an outsider like me? I didn't mean that seriously. I did try to make it obvious, but... I'll try my best to be careful. Leaving only those words behind, Tomitake-san turned around and left. I didn't really mean to call him an outsider. I wasn't really implying anything when I said that. It was only meant to be a joke, but I felt like I'd said something bad. Especially after he mentioned something about bodies and dismemberment, I don't think I would have made that kind of a joke. Especially if, you know, it was obvious it was a joke. Like, I don't think I would have made that kind of a joke. It's a little bit too serious. Keiichi-kun, I was waiting for you. Let's try our best today. I understood what Tomitake-san was trying to say. Somebody gallivanting about while waving an axe around certainly would seem dangerous. You should cover the axe with something when you have it out in public. It's not good to carry it around out in the open like that. Seems that I lost it, so there isn't one. Thinking about it, there really was no need to try to keep up appearances. Everyone in Hinamizawa probably already knew about Reina's eccentricities. She's probably the only person who could carry an axe around Hinamizawa and not be considered suspicious. Ah well, let's finish this today. If we bust through this last beam, we should be able to pull him out. I've got everything I need. Leave it to me. Okay. I took the axe from Reina and made my way up to the unstable slope. Just wait, Colonel Sanders. Keiichi-kun will save you. Alright, get back. I'll finish this in one go. A solid whack rang throughout Hinamizawa as if the job was being done by a lumberjack. How is it? Think you can do it? If it looks too hard, you don't have to strain yourself. If I can break through this, then we'll be good. I have plenty of power today. I can do it. This adversary was more formidable than I expected. First of all, I'd never used an axe before. During a school camping trip, I had wanted to split the wood, but I lost it at rock, paper, scissors and wasn't able to do it. Because the spot where I was standing was so unstable, I soon became tired. I decided to take a break. Raina had already spread out a tarp and laid down some teas and sweets. I'm fine, I'm almost there. I'll make sure Raina can give Colonel Sanders a good night kiss tonight. Yeah, thanks. Giving Colonel Sanders a good night kiss. How... Come to think of it, Raina, you're a transfer student too, right? Where did you live before? I asked her nonchalantly while drinking tea. I had thought she'd lived there all her life. In Kanto. It wasn't as rural as it is out here, but it was still out in the countryside. Why did you move here? To Hinamizawa, I mean. You know this is pretty far out in the boonies. Why did you move here? Does it have to do with your dad's work? Dad said he wanted to move out to a studio. He had been saying for a while that somewhere deep in the mountains like this would be perfect. Studio? Is your father an artist or something? He paints scenery. Seems that twice a year he opens a gallery for the stuff he does. When he started, his works were displayed in an industry plaza in Tokyo, but now they're exhibited in the Makihari Messe. He's determined to have them displayed in the Waterfront International Exhibition Hall. That's amazing. Let me see them next time. I was too embarrassed to tell her that I didn't really know what kind of pictures my father painted. Well, eventually I would. I picked myself up from giving some vague answer. But you transferred in the middle of the semester, didn't you? Wasn't that a hassle? Not really. I was getting bored of the city anyway. I was trying to get answers from Raina, but I ended up being the one giving out all the answers. With a bit of a wry smile on my face, I grabbed the handle of the axe and headed back to work site. The air grew colder as the sun slowly set. The Higurashi began their song, as if to tell me to stop and head home for the day. Just a bit more. Today I would end it. When I first started, I chatted with Raina as I worked, but now I didn't have that luxury. Hoo-yah, you little... Damn it. I had swung the axe countless times a day just like this. Contact, shards of wood splintered, the assailants butchered the victim's body with hatchets and pickaxes. I recalled that passage from the tabloid. One hit with something like this would smash someone's head in. Axes and pickaxes are not meant to be swung at people, ever. One last swing, the beam cracked apart. The weight I put behind the axe not only split through the beam, but smashed the statue's shoulder as well. The arm came off with a sickening sound, clattered down noisily, stomping at my feet. What's the matter? Are you hurt? Sorry, the figure's arm. I broke it off. Oh, that's all? I thought Keiichi-kun hurt himself. I probably had a really guilty look on my face. Raina said that without a hint of dismay as she smiled. We just need to tape it back on and put a coat over him. Nobody will even notice. I see. Let's pull him out then. Can you get that side? Okay. Seems they haven't been able to find one of the arms, you see. I laughed dryly at how pathetic I was for considering the arm flopping down and rolling to my feet to be such a bad omen. Both Marina and Mia knew how sickening that incident was, so they pretended that they didn't know. I had looked it up all by myself, and shamefully enough, I was scared. You're pathetic, Keiichi Maebara. Alright, Raina, let's do this in one go. Ready, and... Whoa, we did it! We did it, Keiichi-kun! Yay! The right time to give 3 cheers. That amount of 2 days' work bearing fruit. He who was brought to Hinamizawa covered in filth to meet his end. Instead, we were able to welcome him back. You're pretty lucky, Colonel Sanders. Your new master is a pretty decent person. Wow, Colonel Sanders, he really is cute. Didn't matter that he was dirty. Raina nuzzled him cheerfully with her cheek. I was so tired, but seeing Raina's happy face made it all worth it. I'll help you carry it back. It'd be bad if it gets dark. Yeah, right. I really want to thank you, Keiichi-kun. I won't forget this. Think really hard about what you'll do to repay me, okay? Whoa, I wonder what kind of repayment. I wonder. For now, I'll just hold back my evil castle. We were ready to take it to her house, but we couldn't go like this. We rolled the statue up into the tarp and lifted it. How big is this statue? And so Jack and Jill went down the hill, carrying a human-sized bag and an unsheathed axe. I prayed that we wouldn't run into Tomitake-san. He saw us here and took a picture. We'll need to get rid of him, LOL. Is that meant to be a warning for an outsider like me? Something struck me as odd about the words Tomitake-san, unable to grasp my sense of humor, had left behind. Hmm. It's definitely a little eerie for sure. Wonder how many tips are in this, Oh, I didn't know that she changed her expression. That's pretty cool. I could do this for probably forever. What was I gonna say? I don't even know. I lost my train of thought for a second. Oh, I wonder how many chapters are in each, like, chapter. Because I'm on chapter, this was the end of chapter 4. So, Reina's not here. You know where she is, Keiichi? Huh? She was just there, actually. Hey, Mion, where did Reina go? Reina, didn't she go to the bathroom? She did say that she's been having bowel troubles lately. I hadn't heard anything about that. Satoko, do you know where Reina went? Reina, you say? I just passed her in the hallway. Reina has class duties today, so she's off to water the flower bed. Ah, it was Reina's turn for class today. That's very much appreciated. Reina, Reina, Reina. Upon hearing it repeated, a thought came to my mind. It's rude to say this about someone's name, but it was a weird name. It was like some foreigner's name. What kind of name is Reina, I wonder? What kind of kanji does her name use? Reina is her nickname. She has a proper name as well. What, really? I was sure that Reina Ryuga was her full name. Well, I can understand you making that mistake since we only call her Reina. She even signs her name as Reina. It's like it's her real name in school. I wonder what her real name is. Let's ask her when she comes back. Satoko reached out and looked at each other. You don't need to ask her. I'll tell you what it is. It's the Rei from Orie and the Na from Nara. Her real name is Reina Ryugu. Reina, is it? So it's read out as Rena instead of Reina? That's a pretty interesting reading. No, that's not it. Reina is the correct way. Rena had told us that she wanted us to call her Reina, so we call her Reina. Hey-chan, Rena is Rena, you know? Only strangers call her Reina. You get where this is going? I understand what Mia was saying. It didn't matter what her real name was, only what names were used between us. Rena Ryuga is Rena. She's nobody other than that. So I was thinking if I had a nickname, would you call me by that? If it's good. So what do you want to be called? Con Man. Rena then came back into the classroom. One of the workers near the door told Rena people were looking for her. What's this now? Who is looking for me, I wonder? Seeing that, both Mion and I sneered. Bailiff, Ryugu doth show herself. Con men, you're quite sinister. Hoo-ha-ha. What is this? What is this? Keiichi-kun and Mi-chan are evil bailiffs? A con man? Damn you, Reina no Suke Ryugu. Today doth be when thou meetest thy maker. Have at thee. Wa? Suki-san, Kaku-san, show them what for. Aye, aye, sir. I expect my fee to be paid to my Swiss bank account. Since it's come to this, we will have no choice. We'll just have a grand battle with 5 people. Reina's fierce punches exploded in the proper timing to take out the seal. The evil that was Mion and myself were vanquished in the end. I do hope that Rena does go on a journey to make the world a better place. How about heading to Nagata-cho? My destination is decided by where the cute stuff gathers. Told the bell signaled that break time was over. Come on, Keiichi-kun, Mi-chan. The teacher's coming. I took Reina's... I keep calling her Reina. I always called her Reina, I think, before, but I think it's Rena, actually. Hand and stood up. I was just as the teacher had entered the classroom. Just one more hour. Man, oh man. Gotta buckle down for one more. That's funny. Okay. Interesting. So, yeah, end of chapter 4. Interesting. So there's a little bit more going on. The photographer is still around taking pictures, and the stuff with, the dismemberment, he found some more articles about that. Not really much development has happened, but he's found more, like, proof that the incident happened. So it's getting a little more to the part where it's, and he asked Mion about it, and she, said the same thing Reina did. So I keep calling her Reina. I'm pretty sure it's Rena, but by the way they were talking about it, but I really don't know anymore. So who knows? But it's they talked in a bit more detail about the gruesome incident and the dismemberment and all that, which was real bizarre. But it's gonna get real bizarre from here on out. It's just like, this is only the first chapter too, so like it always starts off a little more lighthearted, and then it slowly, like, it's a slow burn for sure, gets into all of that dark, like, twisted kind of stuff, which is what we're here for. So hopefully at least by the end of the next episode or so, I can get through at least this first chapter, and then I can, I'll either decide to go back and, finish up Amnesia Memories, or I will go back and finish this. So, we'll see. But I guess that'll be it for this episode, and I'll record a new one next week. So, thanks everybody so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode of Higurashi. Bye!